Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
All right, what's going on? This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. Now I'm back on the motorcycle tank, and we've taken you through basically stripping it to bare metal, pulling the dent out right here. We found some small dings on it. I went ahead and filled those in. If you look real close right in this area, there's a dent down on the bottom, and I see where the Bondo's overlapping here. I got to get rid of that. I wanted to go over a few items with you on this specific gas tank. I wanted to show you a few things. We can turn it around. And we're going to be focusing on this area right here. And if we look in this area right here, this is the opening where our gas cap goes. It's very important on this type of gas tank, and I see another small dent right here I'm going to have to get out. Thank you very much. At least I found it now instead of later. Get that cleaned up. It's very important that you take your sandpaper. Now what I'm doing, I'm using 80 grit. Okay, I'm using an old piece of 80 grit. And it's very important to make sure that you sand inside that groove and get all that gummy scum, and make sure that you rough the surface up properly, just like you see me doing here, so the primer and paint will stick. This is where a lot of people make their mistakes. This is where a lot of people that paint motorcycle tanks pretty much screw up and stick it in their own ass, is they don't really concentrate on the prep work that's surrounding where the gas is actually going into the tank. And let me tell you why. Because if you don't prep this area right here, and gas will splash, okay? Gas will splash, and sooner or later, gas will get on your paint. What happens is it starts bubbling and peeling around the edges here, and then it starts trickling its way out. And if you're doing this for a living, you're fucked in the ass because you'll have to redo the tank. But on the other hand, if you're doing this at home, okay, you will have to redo the tank. So it's very important to always prep up the opening of your tank as thoroughly as possible. I noticed right here in this area, if we look, you can see there's a small dent. I went ahead and took some 80 grit, but I'm also going to take some 36 grit, and I'm going to rough that up, just like you're seeing me do here, because we're going to have to fix that small imperfection. We can't leave it like that. So I'm glad I actually showed you the situation we have right here. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and repair that dent right there. I'll go ahead and fix it. We'll get it all ready for primer. We'll take one close look at it and see how it's going to turn out. I think this motorcycle tank's really going to turn out nice. Came from a pile of shit to a brand new motorcycle tank. And this is the kind of work that really makes you proud of doing what you're doing, because it's just like I said, you're taking a pile of shit, okay, and making something out of it. And that's what the accomplishment's all about, is that you've went through the trials and tribulations of doing something, and when it's all done, you say, wow, I can't fucking believe I did that. I can't believe that that came out of my hands, my heart, my soul, and my mind. Here's another little dent right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit right there. And I think we got it. We'll go ahead and let this dry. If you notice, I built it up very heavy, trying to get this with one coat. And we'll block sand that down. We'll get it ready for primer, and we will be back. Take the experience that you're learning here and use it. Apply what you're listening to, apply what you're watching to your daily ritual life, and your life will be better. My friend Pete, your friend Pete, we'll see you later. Let me get this ready for primer. We're going to take a look at it before I put it in primer, and see it after it's primed. You're really going to be amazed of what it looks like. Just in primer. You won't even think it's the same tank. Take it easy. Alright, what we did, we primed our tank, we put 3 full wet coats of primer on it, and it's really looking nice. If you look in this area right here, let me clean that off. If you look right here, this is where our dent was. And I see that I still got a few scratches on there. And what I'm doing, I'm using 400 wet sandpaper. I'm using a flex hand block, and I'm block sanding the primer. I'm going to go ahead and clean that off. And I still see that there's a little bit of a deep scratch here, and you're going to run into those. Just going to have to get them out. You just got to keep blocking until they're gone. And now we look at it and we see that it really looks nice. I'm going to take a nice clean dry wipe all rag. I'm going to go ahead and dry my tank off and get all the muck off it that the wet sanding had left behind, all the mud. Make sure that I clean it off very, very well. And it looks really good. And what I'm looking for now, I'm looking for imperfections that I missed when I first did all the body work once we stripped it down to bare metal. So I'm going across the edges. It all looks really nice. I see an imperfection right here. We'll come back to that because what I'm looking for small dents that I might have missed. This was a very, very rough tank. So to fix that dent, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of 80 grit. I'm going to go ahead and rough that area up. And I'm going to keep it contained to the smallest area possible. I'm going to try to get down to the bare metal where the dent is because we want our Bondo, our body filler / body filler. We want it to make sure that it's going to stick properly. We take our Bondo, we go ahead and mix it up. Depending on the weather, I want to mix this. I want to tell you, the weather has a lot to do with how much hardener you use in your Bondo or your Evercoat or whatever you're using. So depending on the weather, how hot it is the ratio of mix that you want to use to get the Bondo that you need. So we're going to take that, and then we're just going to overfill it like you see me doing here. I'm going to overfill it, and I'm going to feather it out on the edges. And it's going to look a little bit sloppy, but we need to do that because this is actually like a dent. This isn't a, and I don't want to have to go back and fill it in 5 times. It's literally a dent in the tank. It's a small one, but it's a dent. And then we'll let that dry and come back and sand it and feather it out. I believe that this tank is ready for paint. All I have to do is fix this area right here. We won't prime that. What we will do is we will use sealer on it. When we put the sealer on, I'll put an extra thick coat of sealer in this area, and what that will do, that will seal that Bondo in, because when I sand that, I'm going to go ahead and sand it down to 400 wet. I'll start out with 80 grit, work my way down to 180, and then I'll finish it off with 80 grit, and it'll have such a fine finish to it that sealer will be enough to cover that instead of repriming it and waiting overnight just to sand that little small area.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.